All right, welcome back to Technique WOD. This is video number 3 of a 6-part video series on the snatch or the clean. This one's on the clean. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, that's right. All right, so this video is all about the first pull of the clean. Again, I'm Doug Larson with the Barbell Shrugged podcast. This is Alex Macklin. He's one of our faction of Barbell Shrugged weightlifting coaches. He did 3, maybe 4 reps to warm up, which is why he's so sweaty. Okay, so he's going to start in a good starting position. Again, we're going to cover the first pull on this video. We're going to talk about what to do, and then show you what not to do, and then again, remind you what to do. All right, so he's going to get into a good starting position. If you want to see details on that, you can go to the starting position video, which is video number 2. The first pull is from the ground to mid-thigh. So go ahead and do a quick demo. There you go. So that's the first pull. So go ahead and start back in the starting position. We're going to walk through the first pull step by step. First, the most common error is that people's butts pop up too fast and then their backs kind of flatten out and get parallel to the ground. So go ahead and do it bad. All right, so in the most extreme case, that'll look like this, where your shoulders might not even move and your butt just comes up like that, and then your shoulders trail way late.
I think I can do
That's right.
that. Twerk clean.
All right, so that's what not to do.
How would anybody want to live that?
Alex is disgusted at himself. All right, if you saw the starting position video, you'll note that I suggested that you can be mid-foot heavy in your starting position, then you're going to rock towards your heels on your first pull. So that's kind of hard to see. So we're going to combine that with one more thing. As he rocks towards his heels, he's going to want to pull the bar into him. So he's going to pull the bar. Using his back and his lats, he's going to pull the bar into him with straight arms. And then you're going to be able to see the bar come back towards him relative to this stick here. Okay? So he rocked towards his heels and he pulled the bar into him. And now you can see the bar's traveled backwards about 5 or 6 inches. If he does it wrong, if he's loose with his upper body and he stands through his first pull while rocking towards his toes, the bar is not going to be as far back as it would otherwise. The more forward the bar is, in this position, the more forward it's going to be when you try to catch, which means you're more likely to lose it forward and it's going to fall off the front of your shoulders and you're going to miss the lift, especially when it gets heavy. As far as elbow position and arm position goes, a lot of new lifters, when they lift from the floor, they'll bend their elbows right away. You want to keep them nice and locked out. So Alex is going to show you a good first pull with straight arms. See, his arms are straight the whole time, all the way to mid-thigh. Now go ahead and show a bad one where he bends his elbows right off the floor. So you would never pull a 1-rep max heavy deadlift, powerlifting style deadlift, or any deadlift for that matter, with a bent elbow. You would never go like this and then try to pick up 400, 500, 600 pounds by bending your elbows right away and then standing up, because now your limiter isn't your leg, hips, and low back strength. Now it's just how strong you are keeping your elbow bent, which is going to be a small percentage of the strength that you have with your lower half with a straight elbow. So you definitely don't want to bend your elbow early. Along with that, you also don't want to have a bent elbow and then snap into position. Okay? You want everything to be nice and tight and then squeeze the weight off the ground. So Alex is going to show a good one again. Everything is tight, shoulders are back, elbows are straight, and he's squeezing the weight off the floor. It's not jerky, there's no hitch. It's very smooth off the ground. Okay? Good. And so again, what he's not doing, he's not starting with bent elbows and then snapping into position. His elbows are bent. See how he snaps into position? That's how people tear their bicep tendon and pulls right off of their forearm. Being very smooth off the floor is important for being in a good position for other parts of the movement. So if you want to be in a good position for your second pull, it's better to go slow on your first pull and then explode and go fast on your second pull. That way you're in the best position with the best leverage when you get to that second pull position. So Alex is going to do, again, a good smooth pull off the floor, and then we'll show one that's too fast where he gets out of position. Nice and smooth, perfect, ends in a perfect first pull position, a very long first pull. Now he's going to go too fast. We kind of already went over this on the as one of the very first things of what to do wrong, but a lot of times when people go too fast, their hips just rise too fast. So they'll go here, and they'll go like that. And their hips come up way too quickly, and then they're in a bad position. So don't do that. Slow down on your first pull. Go as fast as you can while doing it correctly. And if that means you have to slow down just a little bit, that's okay. All right, one more thing for for people that pull the weight too fast off the ground, especially beginners, is that they pull themselves from a somewhat neutral position to a round position. So a lot of times it'll look like this. They'll be here, maybe they get into a good position, but then when they go too fast, they pull themselves round. Okay? So you don't want to pull yourself into a round position like that. Go slow enough where you can stay nice and straight with your back, both upper and lower back.
You look like the Halloween cat.
The scared Halloween cat? I just spit all over your camera. All right, Alex also wants to stay covered the entire time throughout the whole first pull. Basically what that means is that he wants to stay bent over, shoulders beyond or in front of the bar throughout the whole movement. So if he starts down here like this back angle is going to stay the same through the whole first pull. That way when he goes to transition, he's already bent over. Very similar to if you were going to do a vertical jump, you're going to need to be here at some point. That way you can have some momentum to get into your jump. If your shoulders are behind the bar, when you go to jump, it'd be like jumping like this with a straight vertical torso. You're just not going to jump as high. So you got to stay bent over throughout your whole first pull. Hey, dude. Great job, Alex. That was incredible. I wasn't talking on my phone while you were doing that. I was right here the whole time. Okay, so here's how to do it incorrectly. All right, so by not staying covered, that means that my shoulders are going to be behind the bar like this. So even if I'm starting in a good position, if my shoulders come behind the bar, my knees are going to come forward, and the bar is going to come forward around my knees. Even if I get to a good position here, I'm not going to have as good a leverage as I would have if I would have started by staying covered the whole time. See how much further behind the bar, behind this vertical bar, the end of my bar is compared to the first, where I was more like right here. Okay? The more into you can get the bar, the better chance you have at catching heavy weight on your shoulders and not missing it out in front of you.
And that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Another very common error is cutting your first pull off too early. So you're doing a short first pull instead of an intentionally long first pull. If the bar is hitting you right above your knee, or basically anywhere below about mid-upper thigh, then you're probably cutting your first pull off too early. This is probably the lowest a clean should ever hit you. Anywhere between here and here is probably fine. Basically, wherever your thumbs touch you, with your shoulders back, is probably where your clean should hit. If you're hitting mid-thigh or lower thigh, or especially on your shin, you're doing something wrong. Okay? So here's how to do it correctly. There you go. So that's about where Alex is going to touch, and he's going to disconnect maybe right above that once he does his transition. Here's how to do it incorrectly, where it's going to hit him on his lower thigh, maybe right above his knee on his quad. So the difference there looks like this. If he's standing, pushing his knees back, once the bar passes his knee, he's pushing his knees forward too early and it's hitting him down here. Okay? You want to keep pushing your knees back and staying bent over basically as long as possible, trying to get to that vertical shin. And then once you can't go any higher while bent over, that's when you push your knees under and the bar hits you right here when you get into that power position. And that's where you're going to have the best leverage. The higher the bar hits you, basically the better leverage you have. So the next video we're going to make is all about the transition. And the whole point of the transition is to go from the first pull to the second pull and have the best leverage possible for the second pull so the weight will feel the lightest so you can lift the heaviest weight possible. So if you want to check out that video or any of the other videos in this series, all you got to do is go to barbellshrugged.com and click on Technique WOD, and you can watch all those videos in the library.